It is the top of the hour, so we are excited to go ahead and get started with this amazing presentation. Thank you all for being here. I am Shannon Johnson here from Houston, Texas, but I'm going to move myself out of the way and bring up a dynamic speaker that has 100% of the information to share. She is a wife, she is an entrepreneur, and a professional makeup artist here in Houston, Texas. She is a member of the 80/80 Club, so you will hear more about that shortly. But she has many awards in this opportunity. She is a Fireball recipient 2 times, an Impact Player, a Breakthrough Award winner, a Breakout Award winner, and the 2025 Team MVP. She is in the top 100 earners in this opportunity. As a 3-star director, she leads a team well over 500 into the thousands, and she is actually a Sapphire ring wearer. That means she earns 100K residually in this opportunity on a part-time basis. So let's go ahead and put some fire emojis in the chat and welcome my sponsor, Miss Brandi Holmes Dennison. Are you here with us?
I am absolutely here, Shannon. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am. Looking good.
All right. Thank you so much and happy new year to you. But I got to give it right back to you, Miss One-Star Director, in this amazing opportunity. Guys, what we love about Shannon is she chose to retire herself in her 30s as a professional hairstylist. She said, you know what? I want to get off my feet and on to the beach. And that is exactly what she is doing in this amazing opportunity. She is leading well over 250 families in this business under her amazing leadership. And guys, I do have to confess, she is my favorite hostess with the most. So thank you, Shannon, for showing up on today's Zoom because listen, it's no days off for us, Shannon. You know how it goes. We stepped into this amazing opportunity and we have had our skates on ever since. Now, I don't know what everybody did last night, but I hope you got your coffee, your tea, or whatever in place because we want you to be wide awake to hear all of this information that we're about to bring to you. Because, guys, it's an opportunity that absolutely changed my life. Last night, I was inside and I was planning what 2026 was going to look like, and I was getting all of my vacations and all of my business trips on the books. But then I looked up on the TV and I saw that a movie was on called The Last Holiday with Queen Latifah, which I'm sure some of you have seen that movie or you've heard of that movie. And it really just started to speak to me. I don't know if any of you are like me to where when you see movies and you really take them to heart, like it's real life. But I do believe that art imitates life. And she was someone who worked for years and was in a job. And unfortunately, she bumped her head at that job and went to the doctor and was actually misdiagnosed with some type of tumor in her brain that was only going to allow her to live for 3 more weeks. And guys, she chose to quit that job. And she had this book at home and it said the book of possibilities. And for some of us, that may be called like a bucket list. And she chose to sell off some things and sell some bonds. And one thing that she got to do was step into some freedoms that we all like, right? Personal freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom. She said, you know what? I have 3 weeks to live and I need to go live. But what's sad is a lot of us sometimes are faced with death. And when that happens, that's when we choose to live. And we want to show y'all how to live now when you have life and you're healthy now to where you can have those 3 freedoms, what I like to call the true adulting. And guys, she chose to wake up and roll out to the airport instead of rolling out to work, right? She flew first class. She went to one of her favorite destinations that was in her possibilities books. She ate some of the best food. She went to the spa, but she also got to do some excursions. She was able to ski. She was able to skydive and all of these things that she wanted to do in life. She now had to fit all of that in into 3 weeks. But guys, it's 2026 and it's day one. And what I want to encourage you is to design your ideal life. And in this opportunity, we want to show you how when God calls you home, that you're dying with memories instead of dying with dreams. Because over here, you can earn more, you can travel more, and you can experience more. So if in 2025, you didn't take all the trips you wanted to take and you didn't make all the money you wanted to make, guess what? We have a fix for you. Because in this opportunity, when you build a strong network, that's where you set yourself up to earn unlimited income. And listen, have no fear. You all have a strong network. The problem is we have not been taught how to embrace and empower that network that we have to where we're helping their family as well as helping our family. And listen, y'all know it's 2026, so we are closer to 2030, right? which means it's time for you to start making money online. And if you do not have an e-commerce, you are already behind. But what's so great about this opportunity is there's no inventory. So don't worry about stacking anything on a shelf, going to the post office, any of that. But what's even better, there's no quotas. You can work it full time. You can work it part time. You can work it sometime. You get to work it at your time. But as long as you have Wi Fi, you are in business. And here's the deal, if you are spending money online, it's time for you to start making money online, but making money online the smart way. In the world's largest industry. Guys, we're talking about travel. And I already know that some of you already have your list down of where you want to go this year. But now we want to educate you on how you get to go like an insider, how you can make commissions from what you are doing, how you can get on the money making side of travel. And we want to share with you some secrets in the travel industry. Now, before we go any further, let me properly introduce who we are. We are PlanNet Marketing. We are an online business provider, and we are based in Atlanta, Georgia. And we have been around now for 10 years, and we are already in over 20 countries, and we are continuing to grow. Now, what I love most is that gentleman you see right there on your screen, Mr. Donald Bradley, who is our founder, our visionary, our CEO, and who has vowed to be in all 195 countries. So I want everybody to type vision in the chat. This is going to be an interactive Zoom today. We're going to wake up these juices, wake up our brain cells, right? Type vision. Because can you imagine having business partners all over the world? You're making money in all types of ways. Well, that's what Mr. Bradley designed. He wanted to help average individuals earn above average income. He just wanted to help ordinary people live extraordinary lives because you see, he is a father of four. He's been a husband now for over 30 years plus. But guys, what he also wants to help you do is be a millionaire. And who don't want to sign up for that? Now, he knew that that was going to be a big charge. So he brought on two amazing individuals, Mr. Andy Cawthon, who is our president, who actually came out of retirement, guys. He said, you know what, Mr. Bradley, I love the business that you're about to start. I love what you're about to lead across all over this world. And he said, and I'm going to help you do that. And he became our president because for decades he has led billion-dollar corporations. So, you know, he's going to make PlanNet Marketing be one of the next. Now, Miss Leanne Trokler, that's our girl because she's the one who pays us on time, every time, and sometimes before time. And I don't know about y'all, but Thanksgiving and Christmas, my check came early, which means I was able to buy some more gifts and I got another turkey. But guys, to date, we have paid out well over $338 million in commission, and we just want to put you on the side of that. Now, we are PlanNet Marketing, so of course we have to market something, and we have an exclusive relationship with IntelliTravel. So you cannot become an IntelliTravel agent unless you go through a PlanNet Marketing rep. So whoever invited you here tonight, go ahead and put thank you in the chat in their name, because not everybody gets a seat at the table. Not everybody gets an invitation. If they thought of you, they thought that you were someone who was a go-getter. You were someone who loves to help people. You were someone who is motivated to change your lives in 2026. And that's exactly what's happening over here. Now, IntelliTravel has tons of accreditations and certifications. We have that A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau, which we have held now for 34 years since we have been around. We're based in Delray Beach, Florida, and we have tons of awards. But one that I like to point out is that Magellan Award, because that Magellan Award, it's like getting a Grammy, y'all. It's like getting an Oscar, getting an Emmy, but we get that in the travel industry. And that is because our CEO is thebomb.com, Mr. James Ferrara, who has been with the company since day one. He gets to sit on the CLIA board, which is the Cruise Line International Association. So he gets to make some decisions about how we're traveling the seas. But guys, to date, we have booked well over 5.5 billion in travel. Last year, we did over a billion, because here's the deal. Travel is not on trial. It is always on trend. I know y'all think, oh, but what about the government shutdown? I'm not sure if y'all were watching the news, but the lines were wrapped around the building. People are always going to travel. But this is what I did not know, because you see, I'm the family booker. I'm the one that books the family cruise each and every year. I have been using travel since I've known how to get online. And guys, what I did not know is that commissions are already built inside our travel bookings. And I'm sure a lot of you didn't know that either. So when you're going to Expedia, Priceline, Travelocity, Orbitz, or wherever you like to shop for your travel, guess what? You're doing the work. You're reading the reviews. You're looking at the pictures. You're comparing prices. And then you enter your credit card, and guess who gets paid? that .com gets paid. So now we want to put you on the side of your .com to where you're going to get paid for the work you're doing. And how about 70 to 80% commission is going to come back to you from what the vendor pays out? Guys, it's a full-fledged at-home agency. You don't have to get in your car and pull up anywhere. Just pull up to your living room, pull up to your office in your home. You're going to get a state-of-the-art personalized booking portal, partnered with every major supplier worldwide. Guys, you can book all over the world. This is not just a domestic thing. Plus, you're going to have that payment gateway where you can make payments on your trips, as well as the customer management software, which means there is no paperwork. We keep up with everything for you. But here's some ideas of things that you can book. Some of you are probably already working on those group cruises for the year. I know my family during Thanksgiving, they already said, okay, who are we selling next? So me as a family booker, I'm already doing the research. But what about corporate and church retreats, fraternities, sororities, destination weddings, which is actually my story. I'm coming up on 2 years of being married. And guys, I got married in New Orleans, which is a destination wedding for me. I'm here in Houston, Texas. And as a travel advisor, I was able to put 2 hotels to the side. And guys, the hotels, they did the work for me. They created me a link. All I did was take that link. I put it on my wedding website. My friends and family, they booked on the link. But guess who got paid? I did. Came home to about $1,500 in commission. So I always say I came home to a band and a man. So that was a double win for me. But what about honeymoons, anniversaries, guys' trips, girls' trip? You name it, you can book it. But what I love best as a busy entrepreneur, this is a turnkey business. Because I know a lot of you are still in your full-time jobs, or maybe you're working your full-time business. Don't worry, we have a business in the box for you. You're going to have customer service and support 7 days a week, on-demand agent training. So all I did was unplug from Netflix because that was not yielding me a return on my investment. And I went on demand with my training. That's how I learned to book the cruises, the hotels, the resorts, the flights. Plus, you're going to have over $100,000 in sales and marketing materials already built in right there in your website. Your website is going to look like what you see on the screen. If you want to go to Vegas, just put Vegas, hit submit, and see what we populate. But what do you have access to? And that's what's so impressive. Everybody put everything in the chat because we have access to everything: cruises, vacation packages, car rentals, travel insurance, resorts, airline tickets. But what about those sports and entertainment tickets? We all know that the Super Bowl is coming up. And while you may be excited to root for your team, I'm excited to see my commission. Because guys, we sell tickets to the Super Bowl. What about selling the flight, the hotel, the rent-a-car, the tickets? What will that commission look like for you? But what about excursions and activities? Every time my family go on a cruise, I am pushing them to swim with the sharks or swim with the dolphins. Why? Because I get paid when they do. So when we say why travel and why now, guys, it's 2026. Why not? It's a $10 trillion annual industry. It's looking to go to about 15 trillion in the next 10 years, and every generation is using it. But this is when I ask people to really put on your entrepreneurial hat. Let's really think this thing out. Because y'all remember when Dubai used to be just a desert, and now Dubai is one of the #1 destinations to go and experience. But y'all remember that thing called COVID during 2020 when the world was shut down, when we were all supposed to be in the house? Guess what? People were in Tulum, turning it up. Because that's actually when Tulum blew up during COVID. Or what about the Maldives, one of the known spots for those over-the-water bungalows? But now you're seeing that in Jamaica, you're seeing that in Bahamas, you're even seeing that in Florida. God, travel is always going to continue to grow. The next destination popping is Saudi Arabia. We got the millennials giving about 4 trillion annually to the industry. The baby boomers are actually fueling the growth. They say, listen, I'm on that 4th quarter of life. I am not looking to be rocking in rocking chairs. I'm looking to be rocking on cruise ships. And I'm going to wave at those grandkids from FaceTime. They're giving about 2.5 trillion to the industry. But then we have Generation X. So Generation X, this is our work generation, right? They have still subscribed to the 40-40-40 plan where they're working for 40 years, 40 hours a week, and retiring on 40% of their pay. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I cannot retire on 40% of my pay today. We know the cost of living is continuing to go up. But what Generation X is doing, they're hopping in the travel industry. They're supplementing some income, and they're using the travel industry because they have chosen to travel smart. But then we have the opposite, Generation Z. This is my niece generation. She's 21 years old, guys. She has no job. And she actually looks at my sister and I and like, I don't even understand why y'all got one. And this is what's insane. She just moved out to a luxury high rise with no job. But her job is waking up, rolling over, grabbing that computer, and making Wi-Fi wages. Why? Because there's no cap on that type of income. They're giving about 1.5 trillion annually to the industry. This is the digital generation. They grew up online. They know how to use that Wi-Fi. We call them the jet setters because they want to enjoy their life right now, but they also want to get paid off what they enjoy to do. But I actually have one of my business partners on the line today who I like to call a luxury traveler because that's exactly what she does. Guys, but not only that, she's a two-star director in this opportunity, leading well over 350 families in this amazing business. She came into this business to help families. And she also came into this business because she loves to travel. She was also the new player of the year out of 140,000 agents in 2025. And I would love for her to give a short testimony on why this business just makes sense. Do I have the one and only director, Jacqueline Kinlock, on the line today?
Yes, you do. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Listen, I'm so excited about this business. It's been a little over a year for me. And let me tell you, I have been using my benefits. My husband and I have traveled the world, and we were already avid travelers. So this business just made sense. Wouldn't you say that it's smart to earn and save on your own travel, right? So, guys, let me tell you a few little secrets. My husband and I went to Dubai, not to Dubai, I'm sorry. My husband and I went to the Maldives. And listen, we came back home to a $2,000 check. Okay. I made $2,000 in commission. Guys, I went to Thailand. I came home to a $1,700 commission check. But not only that, let me tell you another little secret. When I walked onto that property, I said, listen now, don't forget that I'm a travel business owner. And so they said, Miss Kinlock, we got you. We have already upgraded you to a bigger and better suite. When they left, I pulled out that computer to see how much the upgrade was. Guys, it was worth $3,500 more than what I was already paying to stay there. And that's not all. Recently, I just came back from Mexico. When I was in Mexico, I love this place in Mexico. My husband and I go there about 2 times a year. And listen, when I got on that property after about 2 days, I said, now don't forget, I'm a travel business owner. I said, I think I would like to see your presidential suite. They said, no problem. Meet us down there. I took a tour of the presidential suite. They said to my husband and I, would you guys like to spend the remainder of your stay, 5 more days, guys, in the presidential suite? I said, well, sure, absolutely. They said, we'll send the butler to get your things. Guys, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was floored. So these are some of the perks that you get with this business. And you get that respect. So don't forget to walk on that property, walk onto that property like you're a boss. Head up and shoulders back, as I always say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Director Kinlock. Now, I don't know about y'all, but next time she travel, I'm going to be packed inside of her bag. But guys, all we're saying is take your cell phone, turn it into an ATM, get paid on what people are doing anyway, because almost everyone you know is traveling, or at least they want to travel. And here's the deal. Not everybody travels for leisure. I'm not sure about you, but I know I've had to travel for a funeral, for education. Sometimes people are traveling for medical reasons. A lot of people travel for conferences, for business. There's so many ways that you can click on a .com and book a trip. Now we want to show you how you can click on your .com and get paid every time you do it. So let's talk about how much you can earn, because I know in 2026 the prices are still going to climb. So guess what else needs to climb? Your money. So let's say you have a frequent business traveler. They're traveling 3 times a month. They're staying 3 nights each time. And guys, we like to call this sleep money. That's why we put a bed on the screen, because you literally could have been asleep. You could have been on vacation yourself. You could have been at your job, at your business working. They're going to click on your .com instead of hotels.com. And now you're going to get an email saying you just got paid $151.20. Now, guys, just imagine as you grow your business, you're not just going to have one person throughout the month clicking on your link. What about 5, 10, 15, 20 people and you're making sleep money? But now let's say you do have to do a little bit of work, maybe 20, 30 minutes, because you're going to book some golfers. They're going to take a 5-day golf trip in Scottsdale, Arizona, because the golfers know where they want to go. This is going to be some easy work, right? They know the greens they want to golf on. They know who they're going with. They know how much money they want to spend. They know everything, guys. They just going to feed you that information. You put it into your portal. You can see a commission of nearly $275. Now, for 20 to 30 minutes, yes, please sign me up. But now let's talk about our lovebirds. We all know Christmas just passed, so everybody was on there showing off their new rings. You saw men and women getting down on one knee saying, will you marry me? What if you drop a comment and say, hey, congratulations on finding love. I would love to curate your 7-day honeymoon. How about in Cancun with butler service? Now your commission is maybe paying a light bill in the summertime, paying a car note, $561.79. But of course, there is more. This is the type of money that I was leaving on the table before I joined this awesome business. Because as I said, for years, I have been booking my family's cruise. So this is an example of a group cruise, 5 days, Caribbean cruise, Royal Caribbean. Now your commission got a comma in it. Now we're getting to that adult money, right? $2,240.17. Now we're paying mortgage, we're paying rent, we're investing, we're getting out of debt, whatever you want to do. But guys, as someone who does this each and every year, I'm going to tell you a little secret. That commission can grow. Because remember, I said we get commission off travel insurance. We get commission off excursions and tours. Every port, my family was doing an excursion. But another thing, we flew out the day before the ship set sail. So I had to book the hotel. I had to book the airport transfer. And yes, I got paid off all of that. But guys, what I really love, I'm in the business of something that I already do and something that I love to do. We're not selling lotions, we're selling oceans. And as you learn, you also get to earn, which is the game changer. If you're a dream maker, vacation builder, or travel genius, go ahead and drop I am in the chat. That means they are certified. They have educated themselves on the ways to explore the world and do it in a smart way. And guys, we do have classrooms over here, but it's not your traditional classroom. Our classroom is going to look like your vacation. This is what we call an IntelliTrip, where we just want you to get intelligent about the trip. This is an example of Negril Jamaica, 4 days, 3 nights, all inclusive, adults only. And this is exclusive to travel advisors with the exclusive baby price of $4.99. That is not per night. That is for the whole entire trip. And you get to walk with your wellness travel certification. And if y'all are paying attention, wellness travel is taking the lead. But now let's talk about something a little bit more bougie. Let's go 5-star. We're going to go all inclusive to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, 4 days, 3 nights. And guys, your homework when you do these IntelliTrips, all you have to do is just make sure that Long Island iced tea is long and not short. Make sure that is truly all you can eat. This is not a timeshare. We're not asking you to go on the property and be lied to, how you have to only see a 30-minute presentation and it ends up being 30 hours. No, you get to pull up, grab the champagne, wipe your hands with that hot towel, go to the bar, have your bags put up, and enjoy all of this for the insider price of $720. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Luxury it is, but not with the luxury price. But as an entrepreneur, I said, you know what? I really can't take any more risks. I've built a lot of businesses from the ground up. Some I've done very well, some I lost. But what I love about IntelliTravel is they give us nothing but guarantees. And that number one best travel price guarantee is truly a game changer. Because let's say, for example, that you book a client on a Monday to go to Jamaica, but your client is still going to look around. They want to make sure that you found the best price. They might find that exact same booking. And if they do, and I say exact, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, if they find it for less, IntelliTravel is either going to meet or beat the price that they found. And in the event they can't, they're going to cut them a voucher for 110% of the difference. So guess what? No love lost. They're going to come back to you, use that voucher for their next vacation. But this is to all of my guests. You're here for a reason. It's 2026. You say, you know what? I need to do something different. I need something else in my life. I want some more money, or I want to travel more. Well, join us in business today. Get your business started, because we're about to blow up this first quarter and we don't want you to miss out. But let's say you join us and you're, in your back office, you're looking around, you're seeing everything. You see how we make money, how we save money. You're seeing the prices are just the same on Expedia, if not better on our site. And for some reason, you bump your head and you wake up one morning and you say, you know what? I don't want this business. I don't need to save or make money and travel. My bank account is full. It can't hold any more money. If you figure that out within 30 days, you can absolutely return this business back to us, and we're going to give you your full investment back, no questions asked. But guys, don't do that. Give us a year, because guess what number 3 says? The unique profit guarantee. We're going to give you another 11 months. That means you have a whole entire year. Get plugged in with us, learn your business, take your training, go on some trips, make some money, save some money. And in the event you do not make or save what you invested in this opportunity, then IntelliTravel is going to cut you a check for the difference to make you whole. So when I say there is no risk, no love lost, it is winning all across the board. And that's what we're doing in 2026. But listen, what I talked about made sense. I always say when the sun is out, your buns are out. And guys, if y'all are like me, y'all love when the summertime comes, because that's when you can lay out by the pool. You can put that umbrella in your drink. But you might be on here, might be saying, Brandi, I don't even have money to travel. Because truth be told, that was my story when I decided to join this business. I was like, I want to travel more, but I can't afford it. And guys, we also offer a way for you to afford to make some more money and travel the world. But here's the deal. I'm going to remove myself out the way. Because when I tell you I have someone bigger and badder on this Zoom today who is about to break this down, I promise you at the end of this, you're going to be saying amen, hallelujah, and where is that link? Because y'all, he is a full-time principal and he works this business part-time, and on a part-time basis, he is earning $250,000 in this amazing opportunity. He gets to sport this beautiful ruby ring, which signifies that, but he is also a dad. He is also a husband. And guys, he is a prolific speaker that we love to just sit under and gleam under. He has personally brought in 80 people into this opportunity and helping well over 1,500 families see the vision. He is on his way to that 500,000. We're going to go ahead and name it and claim it and speak it into existence. But this is the time that you want to pay close attention because this is where the money resides. Do I have the amazing 4-star director on the line, Mr. Damien Goins?
Hey, listen, how many of you know if that was your introduction to work, y'all will be on time? Absolutely. Can we give some love to that giant in business, Miss Brandi Holmes Dennison, who did an amazing job showcasing our travel product and giving you really all you need to know why you should be pulling the trigger and getting ready to make a move, right? And so show her some love in the chat area, because how many of you know that she's on her way somewhere and you don't want to miss that movement? And so as she said, my name is Damien Goins. I am an elementary school principal. Shannon, can we take a pause for the calls and clap it up for all my educators? Because we on break and all the kids are back with the people who they belong to. Y'all better shout it on out for that one, right? Because how many of you know educators are underpaid and overworked? All my educators know what I'm talking about. And so a few years ago, when this information was showcased for me the way that Director Holmes Dennison just did, how many of you know, ladies and gentlemen, it was a no-brainer. If you're booking with Orbitz, Expedia, and Priceline, somebody say you're doing exactly what she says she does, but what's the difference? They make the money, and Monica tonight, she showed you how. Somebody just point to yourself and say, I can make it, right? And that's really what we're talking about. But our host agency in teletravel partnered with a marketing firm, because every company, I don't care if you're doing hair, nails, you're an esthetician, you're doing barbecue, how many of you know you have to promote your business? If you know I'm just speaking the truth, type yes in the chat area. And so our company said, instead of us doing TV commercials, billboards, or radio ads, we're going to go old school, Roland, and we're going to do word of mouth. Look at Roland. He said he called my name. Roland, I told you I'm a principal. I see you, right? So we're going to go old school, because how many of you know everybody has a network? And so when you share information about going shopping, how many of you know you call your friends? When Hobby Lobby got a sale, okay, Shannon, somebody say you call them. So instead of calling people and teaching them how to spend money, what if you can call them and show them how to make some? Somebody say your friends will like you a whole lot more. And so our marketing company will pay you for simply sharing the business. Now, I got to get everybody and reel you on in right here, because somebody on the line right now is saying to themselves, Brandi, I don't want to sell nothing. Well, let me give you just some facts, and then we're going to jump in. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to get wealthy, you're going to have to sell something. That's either a product or a service, right? Let me prove it to you. How many of you got a subscription with Amazon? You got sold something. How many of you went and bought gifts for Christmas? Somebody sold it to you. Ladies, come on. How many of y'all got that new bundle? Okay. Somebody, all right. Somebody's selling it to you. All we're saying is a sale's going to happen. We're just asking you in 2026, shift your seat. So somebody just type in the chat, shift. And so there are 7 different ways that you can make money. Now, here's what I loved about that. Because on your job, what I need you to consider is how many opportunities are there for you to make money. For the average person, Tiffany, is only 1. So when I heard 7, somebody say I sat up a little taller and I opened my ears a little wider. And so let's jump into this aggressive compensation plan. So the first one, let's say you simply can invite somebody to hear some information the way you're hearing it tonight. They love what they heard because they're a traveler anyway. And how many of you know what's going on in the government? How many know people need to close their financial gap? Because here's what I know. I live in the DMV area, Shannon. And back in the day, if you worked for the federal government, they used to say this. You had a good government job, right? That's what they used to say. But now that the government has shut down multiple times in our lifetime, how many of you know that don't feel good? And how many of you know that's not secure? And so people are realizing and recognizing that what you got taught in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, somebody say your finances feel like a dinosaur. And so tonight we're simply saying, share something that you're doing always. Some of y'all are referring people to restaurants. You're telling people about the next flick binge. Y'all telling people about all the things anyway. Why not get paid along the way? And so $50 every time you do that. Not quitting your job, but how many of you know that can buy you, what could that do? A new steak, some gas in the tank. Ladies, did that get your nails done? I don't know, right? That may be the nails and not the toes. We're going to work on the toes in a minute. What about a 50% match? Now, I want to apologize on government training centers across the globe. And Shannon, we call them schools. Because they train you to be an employee, not to be an entrepreneur. So they do not teach you about passive income. How many of you got taught that you had to give all your time in order for you to get a check? But if you work for someone, how many of you know that they're not at your job, but they getting paid? Right? Because let's use the analogy that we just talked about. How many of you know none of you have met Mark? Okay. Anybody met Jeff? Okay. The Waltons? Okay. All of these billionaires who you're buying from, you've never met them and they're not your buddies. So what our company says is we want to teach you passive income. So when your partners go out and share this business, they can earn 50. Do you know the company's going to send you 25? Who would like to be sleeping? You get a check. Okay, just talk to me. Oh, Marshall, right? Then we have team bonuses. And some of us on the line, Shannon, are old enough to remember when raises were 50 cents. But here our compensation plan is so aggressive that our bonuses start at $10. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. You coming off your Christmas break, you show up back at work, and your supervisor told you that because we're starting out a new year, we're going to bless everybody with a $10 an hour raise. How many of y'all will be on social media right now talking about ain't God good? Because you know $10 extra an hour would do something for you and your family. Well, ours go from $10 all the way to 60. That get added to those first two transactions. So at its peak, the $50 can turn into 110. At its height, the 25 can turn into 85. So ladies and gentlemen, how many of you know the snooze button can mean a little bit more to you if you knew that you can be making money while you sleeping? Somebody, if you would like to make money in your sleep, just type ZZZ in the chat area because you sleeping, but the money is coming. Then we have a builder program because we want to be a place that you are celebrated and not just tolerated. And so when you become a bronze builder, partner with 3, no more than 5, a silver builder, 6, no more than 8. And how many of you know everybody, just like the Olympics, is shooting for the gold? Because 3 more income streams open up for you. The first is that $10 team bonus. So all gold builders are making 60, not 50. They're making 35, not 25. Where are my gold builders at? Representing the chat area. They also have positioned themselves for 2 more passive streams. See, here's what I love about this, Brandi, because you don't have to pressure anybody. Whether they're booking or they're building, you're positioned to make a 10% override. And what about a person that wants to be a hybrid and do both? So if they make 1,000, you get a free $100. If they make 5,000, you get a free $500. One of my business partners just in the month of November just was awarded that 10K Pinnacle Award for generating over $10,000 in commission in a month. Do you know if her sponsor is a gold builder, they sent her an extra $1,000 and she don't even know who went on the trip? See, we're not like Miss Kinlock, where they send them to the penthouse suite. How many of you know the 1,000 could get you there? Okay. Now this right here I love, because this is not what you do by yourself, but it is what we do collectively. How many of you have ever played on a team? Volleyball, baseball, basketball. I don't know if Girl Scouts would be considered a team, but we're going to buy them cookies anyway, right? But how many of you know whether you get in the game or not, if the team wins, you get a trophy. So here, this is our 3x9 team build matrix. The first column is you. That's a recap of our bronze, silver, and gold. That's what you have. So everybody point to yourself and say, I got that. The second column shows you how your matrix will grow in multiples of 3, 9 rows deep. Think about a high school auditorium. Less seats in the front, Maria, than there are in the back. The company pays $4 for every business partner every month, whether you put them there, here's the sweet part, or not. Okay, let me give y'all the Motown remix. That means people are going to show up on your team that you've never met, but you're going to get paid. Who heard what I just said? Okay, so our bronze builders have positioned themselves for $156 in residual income. Not quitting your job, but can it take one bill off your table? See, in 2026, we just talking about how to start removing checks off the table. Our silver builders, you simply partnering with 6 people. And here's the reality, Shannon. All of us need 6 people because we're going to need them at the end of life's journey. At just 6 people, when your matrix fully matures at that level, you're talking $4,300 extra a month. Come on, Michael, what we talking about? How many of you an extra $4,000 a month could take your mortgage off the table? We're talking almost an extra $50,000 a year. Think about what you make. If you added another $50,000 to that, and that is just out of this stream, that is not the $50 up front. That is not the 50% match. That's not the $10 team bonuses. That's not the 10% on travel commission. That's not the 10% on matrix commission. Out of this one stream, you're talking about adding another $50,000 and you haven't even maxed it out? Let me give you some context so you don't miss the content. What opportunity on your job do you have to earn an extra $50,000 without you having to rob your family of the best version of you of time? And then if you decided to go help 9 people and fully max out your matrix, when it fully matures, you're talking about over 6 figures a month. That's $1.2 million a year. I've been in the field of education for quite a long time, Brandi, but what I can tell you is everybody in my district, including the superintendent, don't make $1 million a year. Let alone residually. Come on, let me ask you, we got people on here probably in the medical field. We probably got some lawyers on here, some people in clergy. We got some people in cosmetology, the beauty industry, healthcare. We got a lot of different industries. How many of you, when you look at your pay scale and what you currently do, have an opportunity to earn 7 figures in a 12-month calendar year? Come on, Shannon, let's look in the chat because I'll wait. Because sometimes we lie to ourselves and we settle for things that we were never intended to settle for. Because everybody said, Brandi, it's a new year, it's a new me. But do you have the same old money? Don't be a new you with a new year and you don't get some new money. Somebody just type new money in the chat because we stepping it up. Okay, there we go. Then if that 1.2 million didn't do it for you, what about another 6 figures? And it is our director program. You heard Miss Shannon Johnson get introduced as a 2-star. We'll tell you a little bit more about her money in a moment. But everybody that you're gonna meet in a moment in the chat that's a director is making a bonus. How many? What's today? Oh my! Somebody say it's the 1st. And how many of y'all know they pay out on the 1st? So all 1-star directors got a check of $500 today. Where are my 1-star directors? Like, look at all the people that got a check for $500 today, right? Think about that. How many know we went and watched Dick Clark's New Year's special and watched the ball drop? But how many of you know that we got some money dropped? Okay, y'all ain't with me tonight, right? 2-star directors like Miss Shannon Johnson. Do you know they sent her $1,000 today? So everybody just say lunch on Shannon. 3-star directors like Miss Brandi Holmes Dennison. Do you know they had the nerve to send her a check today of $2,000? Who needs your car fixed? Send an email to Brandi, right? 4-star directors like myself. Do you know when that ball dropped, we were excited because the company sent a check for $5,000, $60,000 a year in bonus money. The 5-star directors got a check today for $10,000. Come on, Roland, let's talk about it. If you got a check, how many of you know you would have been popping more than bottles, right? And then our 6-star directors got a check today for $16,000. How many of you know that's called a Happy New Year? If you got a check today for $16,000 and those 8 individuals received that today, just type a word in the chat that you would have felt and keep it appropriate. 7 through 10 has not been touched. And I illuminate that for you because I need you to understand that if you've ever said to yourself, if I could have been there at the beginning, you're here. So where are all my directors representing the chat? Then Beyonce said, put a ring on it. Mr. Bradley said, I think I will. And so when you've earned $8,333, the company will gift you a sapphire ring. Can we show some love again for Miss Brandi Holmes Dennison, sapphire ring earner in the house? Where are my other sapphire ring earners in the building? Represent Miss Danielle Farmer. Oh, it's moving. Miss Tara, it's moving. Miss Latoya Chin in the building. Isn't it? It's a theme. Come on, it must be ladies' night, right? The ruby ring, when you earn over $250,000. Me and my wife have been blessed to be inducted into that ring of honor. Do I have any other sapphire ring earner or ruby ring earners in the building tonight, representing the chat area? And then at the diamond, give it up for Bernard and Cynthia Hampton in the building. Ruby ring earners in the house, right? Who would love to have friends that they fight over who picks up the bill? Come on, Shannon, tell them. Somebody say no more splitting the bill in 26, right? Then we got diamond ring earners. Do I have any diamond ring earners in the building? $41,000 a month. And then our top income earners are double diamond. Give it up for Miss Desiree Benson out of Pomona, California. Where are my ladies who would love to be a mom and stay home with your children because you're making over $41,000 a month? And give it up for that phenom herself out of Houston. How many of you know they do it bigger in Texas because her bank account was so big they had to expand the state? Give it up for Miss J.P. Watkins-Mukes on her way to that double diamond ring in the building. How many of you know with Miss Desiree Benson and Miss J.P. Watkins-Mukes, 2 ladies together, $1 million? And here's what I want y'all to know. Let me just take a moment and pause for the cause. How many of you know there's something in the building because both of them are deltas? Come on, somebody say trunks up. Okay. Here's our income disclosure statement for last year. This is what we report to the IRS. Our updated one for 25 will be coming out. And so you don't have to worry about, is the business legitimate? The IRS does not issue tax returns to illegal businesses. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take that off the table because we've been educated tonight about some facts. We don't have to learn about our feelings. Not for sure, but it was so good as they put music to it. Now, this slide, in my estimation, is probably the most prolific, Angela, in all the information for tonight. And I'm going to slow it down because I want y'all to read it with me on the count of 3. It is our PlanNet Marketing Pledge. 1, 2, and 3. As a PlanNet Marketing Director, feel secure in knowing that in the event of your death, the PlanNet business you built will outlast you. Your family will still receive your PlanNet Marketing Weekly Commission, your director pay, your director bonuses, and your monthly residual income. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I need you to understand. I've been with my school district 24 years. But do you know if I stop breathing, they stop paying? But here, the heart of our founder says, if you help us to grow this business, we won't just pay you while you're living. We'll take care of the ones you love even after you're gone. And nothing can stop it, including the grave. All the tools, training, and events are already in place. You do not have to master any of this. One of our major events is our international convention in Orlando, Florida. And they just announced our keynote speaker. So if you missed that today, you better ask somebody, get in the know. Now, how do I get started? How do I do what Miss Shannon Johnson does? How do I get positioned to make an extra $100,000 on the side like Miss Brandi Holmes Dennison? And y'all heard me say on the side. See, y'all so caught up in pop culture that you only hear about side chicks. Tonight, we showing you how to get a side check. Okay, somebody hang out with me, right? Somebody say, clock that, right? And so how do we get in position to put our families in the best position that they can be in for this year? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's not a typo. We talking 199. Ms. Holmes Dennison, I know parents who were struggling on how they were going to buy a PS5 for their children because it cost them over $500, and that's not inclusive of any games. So, ladies and gentlemen, $199 that you can get in the game of life. That is a one-time investment. It is not recurring. It is not annual. 19 of that 199 will go to our marketing firm. 179 of that 199 will go to our host agency, which Ms. Holmes Dennison highlighted for you this evening. 2 companies, 1 venture that can take you as far as you decide you want to go. 30 days later, your overhead is simply $59 a month. Let's just round it up to 60. When was the last time 8 quarters was a problem for you? Probably going to the ice cream truck. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 3 types of people that hear this information. But I really think tonight, Shannon, there's 2. Because we're kicking off a new year, so there's nobody who's closed off. Because if you made it to a new year, how many know you are already blessed? Now, what you going to do with your blessing? Now, there may be some of you that say, I have some questions. And in just a moment, myself and Ms. Holmes Dennison will answer any question that you pose because we want to give you full transparency. But if you heard what we shared tonight, some of you went and already you moved money into your account. You went and got your credit card, figured out which one you're going to put it on because you said, this year I can't play, but I got to get in position to get paid. And if you guys are going to show me the ropes, I can't delay my family from winning any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here tonight, you took the first step because it says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. Don't look at the 1,000 mile, just look at the first step. So you're here tonight, so simply take the second and get back with the person that invited you and let them know that, yes, thank you for this invitation. I want to lock arms with you because 2026 is the year of the fix. I'm fixing my credit. I'm fixing my money. All the things that were broken in 25 going to get fixed in 26. But how many of you know in order for it to get fixed, you're going to need a vehicle? And we're here absolutely to show you this locomotive that can take you all across the country and the globe. So with that, thank y'all for allowing myself and Ms. Dennison to share with you. Ms. Johnson, I'll throw it back to you to give us directions on how we're going to proceed.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that information. Director Brandi Holmes, would you like to go ahead and tell everyone how they can get started?
Absolutely. Guys, you want to get back with the person that invited you. Again, we always say that this is an exclusive invitation and they saw something in you that said you can do this for 2026. You're going to have mentorship. You're going to have coaching, which has absolutely changed my life. So you want to get back with the person that invited you. They have a special link. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes for you to enroll, depending on how fast you type. And you are going to have 2 debt-free businesses. You're going to be up and open. And what's so amazing, whoever is bringing you in this business, you will be able to get on their Zooms and learn from them and invite people to their Zooms. Guys, the business is going to grow. As Director Goins said, this is the year. This is the year for you to get out of debt. This is the year for you to save your family. We are closer to that 2030 than we think. So get started with us tonight. Now, we do have some people in the room that might have some questions, and we are here to answer those questions. So we are going to do a stop share on the presentation, and we're going to allow you to put your questions in the chat. You have some amazing directors on the line today. You have people that are succeeding at high levels, and we do not want you to leave this Zoom without your question answered. And on top of that, do not ask somebody that did not see this presentation what they think about a presentation they did not see. They're not going to be able to advise you correctly. And if there is one thing I learned from being in this business, you are also getting their lifestyle. So if you're going to ask anybody, You might want to ask Mr. Damien Goins, who's earning $250,000. You might want to ask some of our half a millionaires who are on this Zoom today, some of our soon-to-be millionaires. Do not go ask your Uncle Bobo like I did one time. And Uncle Bobo said, no, don't do those things. They got you. Uncle Bobo was broke. All right, and still broke. So let's get your questions in the chat and let's get those answered. Shannon, do you see any questions rolling through?
Yes, we have a question. If you could go over how much is the investment to join the opportunity?
Absolutely. So the investment is $199.90. Just go ahead, give me 10 cents. Let's call it $200. You're going to invest $200 one time. And after today, after you enroll, it's going to be $60 a month, which is $2 a day. Like you said, those 8 quarters, $2 a day for you to have a business where you can earn unlimited income.
Absolutely. So one question was, can I decide to join after today?
You want to take that, Mr. Goins?
I can. You can, but I will share with you this. There's a thing in business called first mover's advantage. Understanding that locking in early, there's some advantages to that. But if you don't have, I guess, the financial resources, get with the person that invited you to set up a plan on how you can make sure that that happens, right? Because we are doing this on the first, because how many of you know how you start a thing is how you going to finish a thing. And so if there's any way that you can move things around, because how many of you know sometimes you got to make a sacrifice to get to your success. And so if you can absolutely do that and not delay it, because I said, and this may be pushing people a little bit upshire, right? If your cable is on, but your business is on pause, somebody said priorities. So, but if you don't have it, you can definitely hold off and do it at your discretion when it makes sense for you and your family.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The next question would be, how can I find the training for marketing for the business, especially on social media?
Mr. Goins, you got that one?
Absolutely. So in your back office, there are some things that will absolutely support you in marketing. You have over $100,000 in marketing material back there that you will have access to. Remember, the company's over 30 years old, so they have put a lot of things in place. When it comes to social media, you want to definitely tap into your team because social media, each platform has some specificity that is unique to that platform and its algorithm. So you want to tap into your leadership who have people that are there that are doing phenomenal on social media. And some of that may be virtually and some of that may be in person. And so you want to definitely touch bases with your senior leadership so they can guide you in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I know, Mr. Goins, you love this question, but please explain how this is not a pyramid.
Absolutely. I love that question because I get to educate in this space. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, number one, thank you for the question. And how many know pyramids are in Egypt? Okay, I'm just joking, right? But one, pyramids are illegal. They're the exchange of money for more money without a product or service. And really, we saw an uptick of those during the pandemic where people didn't know where their futures would be. But they cannot call them a pyramid because you were absolutely run, Felicia. But what they do call them are gifting circles, right? And where are my Caribbean folks? They call them susus. So they do exist. And here's the reality, especially for my baby boomers. Why it is a struggle for you to understand the difference? Because in your lifetime, they were legal. Pyramids did not become illegal until 1979. And so you saw them occurring. But once they understood that there was not a product or service and that people were really getting beat out of money, they had to put some laws and regulations in place to keep people from losing money, right? If you buy some bad shoes, how many know you can, Nordstrom's take them back, right? So because there were no things in place, the second thing I would say is this, Shannon, is we're in partnerships with billion-dollar brands, Marriott, Disney, Norwegian, Southwest Airlines, and all of us agree to this statement. Those billion-dollar brands have legal teams, and they would have done a great job vetting us before aligning with us. And if I can simply put the bow on the top, Shannon, and wrap this conversation up and really take that question off the table, is the government does not issue 1099 tax returns to anything that's not legal because they are looking at it and vetting it through the Better Business Bureau as well. So hopefully that's helped to educate and impart some knowledge on people so that they understand it. What your great great grandmother may have said to you was misinformation. Now you've been educated on factual information. Director Johnson, I'll throw it back to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some of the questions have been answered, so I will just go ahead and ask, do you want to give your closing remarks? Anything you would like to share?
Absolutely. I would love to share how this business has changed my life. Guys, within 13 months, I was able to go to $100,000 earning that residually. Now, I am a makeup artist. I have been for the past 26 years. I built my business from the ground up. It took me over 3.5 years for me to get to six figures in my makeup business. And one thing that I've learned is that if you want to live your dream, you do have to build a team. And I want to encourage everybody to not look at that $60 as a bill, because that was one of my fears when I joined this business. I was actually going through a divorce the first time I enrolled, and I was like, oh my goodness, another bill that I have to add to the table. Guys, bills are cable. Bills are Netflix, bills that subscription that you have to that beauty box or whatever else you pay. Guys, this is a business. This is an investment. If I was not paying that $60 a month right now, I would not be standing before you as a six-figure earner in this business. So a lot of times people will be like, well, how can I add one more bill? You don't. You add a business that's going to take care of your bills. And so I just want to encourage people to step out of the fear, because fear is fake. And that's one thing that the enemy likes to put on us. The enemy likes for us to get caught up in all of the particulars, where the $60 and the $199 and what am I going to get? And can you help me with this? But God says, go. You got to take one step. Faith of a mustard seed. That's all you need. So a lot of us are seeing how the economy is going. A lot of us are worried. A lot of us are concerned. And here's the thing. A lot of us are already good with money, but you know people who aren't. And if you're somebody that likes to help people, if you want to be able to give to charities, or if you want to be able to see your sister, your brother, your relatives, your friends, your old coworkers, if you want to see them to get to where you are, well, then you have to have something you can offer them. And this is that vehicle. Everybody is traveling. Travel is never going to go anywhere. During COVID, I was making money because people were traveling. During the government shutdown, I was making money. People were traveling. You're traveling. So now get in the business of what the world is doing and make what you love to do your hobby. What about you, Mr. Goins? I know you have something left to say.
Listen, you hit it on the head. I was still in my feelings that you said 3 years you were making six figures doing makeup. I mean, I had kids doing makeup homework, and I still wasn't doing that in 3 years. Right? All my educators understand what I'm talking about. And here's what I love, as you said, we're positioned where now we're doing more part-time with travel than we're doing as an educator. This upcoming year, I'm going to be making more, Mr. Boyd, than my superintendent. Here's what I need y'all to understand. School was never designed to get you wealthy. It was designed to teach you how to work, right? And if you go back and roll back the time, you'll see that the originator of the first school board was John D. Rockefeller. And what he said was this, Ms. Thompson: we want to create a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. That's why your school desks were in rows, because they were teaching you how to be in factories and doing some repetitive work. How many of you were in school when they told you up your work, keep your eyes on your own paper? Because they were teaching about individualism, not collectivism. They would have career days where they would bring people in and say, what do you want to be? Right? But how many know many of those people were talking about jobs, but many of them never could offer you, right? So all we're saying is, if you're still making money like people are listening to an 8-track tape,
okay, perfect. Is it clear, Jerry?
you're a financial dinosaur, right? Think about it. Music has changed. Some of us are old enough to remember, Mr. Summerall, that the TV used to sit on the floor. Okay, some of y'all don't know and go there with me, right? We had floor model TVs, and when the big TV broke, you put the little TV on the big TV, right? Now TV is on the wall. Some of us remember the rotary phone, Beverly, where you had to stay in the kitchen because you could only go as far as the cord would take you. But they understood in a new world, you can move anywhere. That's why you now have what? Cordless. So if music has changed, television has changed, and telecom has changed, why is the way you make money still the same? Somebody say message. So all we're sharing you is, ladies and gentlemen, an industry that's never going out of style, as Ms. Holmes Dennison said. We've been cruising since Noah built the first cruise ship, and we're going to be vacationing while people get on spaceships. The only question you got to ask is, will you create the space in your life to live on your own terms? So we have Director Brandi Holmes Dennison, our phenomenal host, Ms. Shannon Johnson, and all the PlanNet leadership, Ms. J.P. Watkins-Muse, who was the brainchild behind this movement. We thank y'all for being here. But as always, we will see you at one of two places: on the beaches of the world or at the bank. But hopefully we'll see you at both. Y'all have a great rest of your evening on purpose. Be blessed. And most importantly, take charge.